close friends, family members, or have heard reports on the news about criminals being sentenced to death using the lethal injection. I am credible because I did research on this topic, and I will share with you the information that I found throughout the speech. Some people oppose the death sentence of these killers. There are good reasons to why the death sentence should not be abolished. My first reason is that it provides closure for the victims of the families of the victims. It is not always cruel, and it is the best answer to murder. So I have finished giving you my preview of points. Now I will go on to talk about why the death penalty provides closure for the families of victims. So many families seek justice. For example, do you guys remember the Boston bombings? Okay, well, the guy, Zorg, I can't pronounce his name, but the younger brother, since the other one is dead and this brother's alive, they're charging him with the crime, and they're giving him the death sentence. And in the New York Times, according to the New York Times on May 16th, the three authors of this article say that 60% of Americans wanted him to receive the death penalty. So, in contrast to that, a woman whose sons, Paul and JP, lost legs in the blast, she said that she felt justice for her family, and that she can't, hold on. She says, I feel justice for my family. I have to watch my two sons put a leg on every day. I can't tell you, it feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. So this is kind of showing that she feels a sense of security, knowing that this man won't harm people again, which goes along with other murders. So according to the Santa Clara University, Claire Andre and Manuel Velasquez say capital punishment is often defended on the grounds that society has a moral obligation to protect the safety and welfare of its citizens. Murderers threaten the safety and welfare. And only by putting murderers to death can society ensure the convicted killers do not kill again. So now that I've talked to you about families having closure, I will now talk about how the death penalty is not always cruel. So death penalties have been known to be torturous or cruel, either by hanging them or giving them the chair. There are currently 32 states in the U.S. that use the death penalty. But in a way, it's not, the death penalty is not cruel. The criminal is killed within seconds, so there's no possible way of knowing whether they feel pain, but yeah, it's usually fast, so it's not considered torture. So the commonly used death penalty is the lethal injection. It consists of 3 drugs. First, sodium thiopental is used to bring unconsciousness. Then pancuronium bromide takes effect by causing muscle paralysis and respiratory block. Lastly, potassium chloride is what stops the heart and they die. So it's a fast process, so you guys can have like a understanding that this is not cruel in a way. So you are informed about the techniques of the death penalty. So now I will discuss the death penalty, how the death penalty is the best answer for murder. So, scholar and top lawyer at the Criminal Justice Legal Foundation and Kent Skydayer, I can't pronounce his last name, has dedicated his professional life to defending the death penalty. So there was something that went wrong during a procedure with the criminal, and he responded, "I don't think a murderer has a right to a painless death." He says, "We need to be careful. We don't impose torturous deaths on people, but we don't need to be squeamish as to say a person needs to feel no pain at all. It is a punishment." Okay, so now I have explained the death penalty. I explained the justice in death penalty and why it should be sentenced to these criminals. So in conclusion, the death penalty should not be abolished due to the fact that these murderers made the decision to take an innocent life, so they deserve what it's kind of, never mind. So you now have an understanding as to why the death penalty should continue, so that the victims can have, the families of victims can have closure, and also the way they go about with the death sentence, the death penalty is not always cruel, and that it is the best consequence for these murderers. And so lastly, being safe is the #1 priority for most people, and keeping murderers off the street without them ever coming back should make you feel very relieved.